Welcome to today's episode of Did She Really Say That? This is where we talk with women and we have a discussion around what it means to be a female in business today. With all the education and training out there, what's the simplest way to take a step forward? So here at Truth Bomb Academy, we teach women how to take a simple playbook and incorporate that into their lives so that they can have more fun, play, and ease and build that $1 million business with power and passion. Done. My name is Chef Katrina. I'm here with you guys today. My background is that I have been teaching and training digital marketing for the last 15 years. I was a former chef at Disney, which is why I get the name Chef Katrina. I've owned my own restaurant. I love the world of business, and I'm fascinated about how to help more women achieve that millionaire income and building their business. So I just love the processes, the simple strategies, and the simplicity of keeping a business moving forward so that women can live their lives and build a business.
Excellent. My name's Heidi Muma, and I spent about 17 plus years homeschooling my kids and also building a couple different businesses during that time. I love the lifestyle that homeschooling and entrepreneurship has given me, and it's something that I wasn't willing to give up. So building a business is a passion of mine, and here in Truth Bomb Academy, we're looking at how, it's like, how does this look for women, and how do we succeed in this without the business overwhelming your life, because that's not why you're building a business, right? So.
And I'm Karen Angeli. I am also one of the co-founders here inside of Truth Bomb. And I just love the idea of having a thought, an idea, a creation that can then create millions of dollars for you. I want to help more people create that kind of lifestyle where they're like, I have a really great idea and I want to build it into fruition. So that's really, I feel like, what the heart and soul of Truth Bomb is not only create that $1 million, but also do it in a way that doesn't suck you dry and makes you actually enjoy the process along the way. And you're actually going, this is kind of fun, because it's a part of who you are instead of separate. So yeah. I just love what we're doing here and how we're changing lives of people that are already in the community. So it's been a fun process.
It really has been. And I love what you said about, how we want to prevent and keep women from being sucked dry as they build their business. Because I think the three of us at some point, and a lot of the students and a lot of the women that are coming through Truth Bomb have gone through that. They've been kind of like sucked out, from the inside out around their everything. They're so burnt out. Then they're so frazzled. They don't even know they're burnt out. Right. It's just,
that was me.
I think that was even me. Right.
Yeah.
It's just like we go through it and we keep pushing because we're told just to keep pushing forward. And that's, I think, a hard thing for a lot of women is that we don't know when to stop. Right? We really don't. I was actually reading a blog post the other day. It says the difference between rich men and rich women, like there was like 8 differences of how women invest and build wealth versus the men. Mm-hmm. And I was reading through this and actually shared it with you all. And I was reading through this article. And I was like, oh my God, I hate everything about this article.
I'm surprised you shared it then.
Well, I shared it because I was really curious on how somebody that's been in this industry teaching this rich woman concept for a very long time. And as I'm reading through this blog post, I'm getting more and more upset as I'm reading it because it still feels very masculine, right? And I was upset about a couple of things. And this ties into what we're training this week inside the Unlocking My Millions, because that's a big piece of what we're doing. So one of the things I really loved about what this article said was that women build relationships. We're really good at teamwork, relationship buildings. We have empathy. We're able to read unconscious body language better than anybody. Like we can literally read and get a feedback from somebody, whether through energy, through their non-body language, what they're not saying. Like we kind of interpret that if we when we look at it, right? That was all fascinating. I'm like, yes, this is exactly what women do. Like this is good stuff. And then it pissed me off. Okay. The first thing she said is that women are resilient, right? We always are, bouncing back. We always overcome. We always are willing to do more than what's expected of us. And I'm like, I hate the word resilient for women, right? I think humanity is resilient. But I think when you put that on women, there's this expectation that they have to perform with less, right? The next thing that goes on to say is that women do more with less. And I just literally wanted to just reach through the computer and just smack somebody, right? Because you're just perpetuating the mentality that women have to have less, but can do more with it. Why don't we have more and do more with it? Right? It's like, we'll just get by, we're more creative, we're more intuitive, we're more, we take better initiative. I'm like, yeah, that should be an asset to us. And then the third thing that pissed me off about this.
Wow, you are really pissed off.
This riles you up.
Lord have mercy.
It pissed me off because I'm like, we just keep putting the stigma on women around what they have to deal with, like as this is an accepted norm to struggle with, right? And so the third thing that pissed me off is she goes, well, women ask for less money, because they have that just get by mentality around it, but it makes us stronger and we're able to do more. And it just shows what kind of businesses we can run. And what pissed me off about that is that, yeah, statistically, you can show us that women ask for less money. But then on the flip side, what I'm also hearing when I talk to women that are like grant writers and banks, they say that women don't put enough value on what they do, so they don't know how to ask for that money, right? And so I was pissed because like, this is a very influential individual, right? That has a huge audience and still perpetuates the same bullshit lie that's out there. That women have to be resilient. No, you don't have to be resilient. You just have to be access to information that serves us as women. We don't have to do more with less. I think we should be able to access the same amount of income resources that our male counterparts do, but we're afraid to ask and we don't even know where to go, I think sometimes, right? Yeah. It's the unknown. It's the same thing we were talking about last week around why women don't ask for more money or what $1 million would look like for a woman, right? So like I'm reading this and I'm just pissed because the research is so shifted still to minimize women and what we do. It's still about how women have to struggle to get there. And I know that when we talk about here inside of Unlocking My Millions, it's about tapping into your innate ability to build your business the way you want to build it and how much more successful you can be. There should absolutely be 1 million female millionaires in this world without a doubt.
Absolutely.
So that was my rant.
Well, the thing that's sad to me about the whole concept is that, and you said this already, but I want to really highlight it because this is important. We don't believe as females in society, we don't believe in our value. There's something that we've been told since we were children that we have perpetuated through adulthood. And it's probably that girls should be seen, not heard. Yeah. It's one of those things that it's a belief pattern that we have in our brain locked away somewhere, that we believe that we are the lesser sex in some way, shape, or form. And I see this perpetuated in society. I see this perpetuated in religion. I see this perpetuated everywhere, to be completely honest. In the workspace, like when going to actually ask for raises or how much a female is paid compared to a man. It's just an interesting thing that we find ourselves in history right now, where women actually are waking up and going, wait a minute, how come this is happening? And I think that personally, I think that we need more people like us that are going, wait a minute, we have just as much value as a man does. And it's okay to say that. It's okay that that is the truth, because whether you're a man or a woman, you are inherently, you're a person and you have value. And I think it's time for women to step into that and realize how powerful they are, even if they find themselves in a low-paying job, or maybe they're a stay-at-home mom, or whatever it is that society would say isn't very high-ranking. We need to realize that we have inherent value no matter who we are, no matter where we live, no matter what we drive, no matter what's going on in our life. We have that inherent value. And I think that women are starting to grab onto this, but the change is happening slower than I would like personally, because I mean, when you look at the stats and you look at the amount of female entrepreneurs in this world, 252 million, okay? million entrepreneurs, female entrepreneurs, and only 2% of that number are millionaires in this world. It's embarrassing.
Well, this article that I was reading, she even documented in there 43% of the businesses in the United States are owned by women. 43%.
Yeah, that's almost half. That's wild. Come on.
And we're not hitting the same income level because, and I promise you, it's not because we're not advocating for the same pay. It's because we really don't think we're worth that money. That it's a worth issue.
Yeah.
It's a value issue. It is a mindset. It is, like you said, Karen, it's the seed that got planted and literally has been handed down from female to female to female to female.
Yeah.
And it's from humanity, right? It doesn't matter. It's not male, females it's not just men that are doing this. It's not just women that are doing this. It is something that's been handed down culturally to each of us. And this is where that has got to change.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
and
so
we really did say that. It's time to change, people.
It is. And I feel like it's not even, it's like we are more like outwardly aware of it. And so it's not so much like, I know, like, for raising my kids, it wasn't like, I thought I told my daughter anything different than I told my sons, but I think it's so subliminal in our culture. Mm-hmm. It's like, we don't even realize what we're saying and how it is affecting the girls. Cause it's like, I see it's like, and like everybody's starting a business. It's like, I think women have this mentality where it's like, we have to do it for less or we have to do it for free to get experience, to get it's like to get yourself out there, your reputation out there, how you do this. And it's just like, I don't necessarily see men doing things for free though. That.
So. They know what they have to offer and they're like, wait a minute, I want to get paid for this. Like, I mean, the thing to look at too is that men for the longest time in society are told that they're like, you're the person that's the head of the household. You've got to bring home the bacon. Like, you're the person that's taking care of your family. So I think that is a big part of the mindset as well. Because men are like, well, I got to take care of my family. Like, what kind of man am I if I can't support my family?
Right.
So they do come at it from a different angle where it's like, wait a minute, I need to make money as I'm doing this. So even if they don't think what they're doing has value, they're still going to do it and ask for money because they're like, I need to make money.
Yeah. Well, no, and you're not wrong in that respect. And yet when women come at this, a lot of the times we come at it from a collaborative or we come at it from, I just want to help a friend.
Sure.
Right. And so we think we build that relationship. But I think what better women is to learn the bartering skills.
Yeah.
I think a bartering skill set for women is going to be one of the most powerful tools that we can tap into, because then instead of giving something away for free, it has to have a value exchange for us.
Yeah.
Right. It's got to be like a monetary value or like a value to value exchange, but it has to work for both parties. If it's lopsided, it won't work.
Right.
But it could be anything. Like if you want to exchange one thing for another, but it's got to make sense for both, and it's got to be a win-win for both individuals. But I think the barter is piece of that really would set women apart in how they do business. But the financial piece is it too. I think that was one of the things that I started getting annoyed with, was being told we have to create more free stuff. And I'm literally I'm following a woman right now that's putting out some training, and it's like one freebie to the next freebie to the next freebie. And I'm like, when are you going to actually make the offer?
Yeah.
Right. She's got 2 freebies. She's got a 5-day, and it's all done online. She's not doing it live or anything like that. It's on an app. She's gamified it. So I give her mad props for that, because that takes time and effort.
Yep.
So she's done a great job with this one, but it leads into another free event.
Oh God.
So she's got this. I mean, she's built out on an app. God only knows what it took for her to build that, right? So she's built it on one app. She's done this whole entire training. She leads them into the next section of training. And then, I'm guessing hopefully at that point, she finally asks for an offer.
I hope so.
Wow. That's like a lot. Like, I get you want to build your list and you want to build this following. But the thing is like, if you can brag that you have 52,000 people go through this, but none of them converted or all of them stayed free, what was what was all that work for?
Right.
Yeah.
What's the point?
Like, you didn't even ask for $1.
And do
Right.
they really value the training when it's
Right.
free?
No, I mean,
That's
I'm
the thing.
going,
It's
I'm
like,
not valuing it. Like, I was like, yeah, it's another free freaking course. Like, I don't even give it my time and attention.
mm-mm. I
So,
glance through things that are free.
yeah.
You don't really study them, and because they don't
So
have
we put
value.
all this time and energy into free resources that I think, because of what we've been through in the last 3 years, so many of us have gone to online education and training that we've kind of really taught people that free isn't really that great. Like, there's going to be a sell item in there to get you the actual information you need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, when you just continue to make freebie stuff all day long, you literally just get freebie seekers on your list of people that are looking for information.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I personally, I don't want a freebie seeker. I want somebody that falls in love with the advice that I'm sharing, that they want more from me, and they're ready to take the next step.
Yeah.
There's a difference in an audience when you actually create that kind of audience that's ready to actually go, I want more from you. How do I get more from you? How do I continue to grow my knowledge in what you're sharing with me? It's a totally different world when you look at it in that respect.
Yeah, which ties into what the blog post is for this week and what we're training, which is like, rich women do build an audience, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's a difference between growing a following, between creating an avatar, and really what an audience is. And I think then when we look at what that means, and so for me, and I know we talk about this inside of Unlocking My Millions, we dive into this conversation because it's really important. The avatar as we know it was great. I'm not going to lie. The avatar in marketing and knowing that person and being really detailed about them is actually not a bad thing. I think it still works in a lot of areas.
Absolutely.
But what happened is that when you put somebody into a demographic, and that tool was used because back in the day, before digital media, before 2000, we had television, we had phone surveys, you had mailing surveys, you had census, you had ways that people were trying to gather information around who was living in these houses, because we didn't know what was going on inside the four walls. So in the world of marketing, for them to be able to put a catalog in front of the right person, they needed to know a little bit of information about the family. How much money was being made in that household, right? What, did you have kids? Were you married? Like, things like that helped people really segment what they were marketing to people. So that avatar was really a key person inside of the world of marketing, at least in the world of television, radio, and newspaper. Once you added the internet, the thing is everybody freely started giving away all their information of their lives. They told you everything. They'll tell you when they're pregnant. They'll tell you when they got their car. They'll tell you when they get their tattoo. They'll tell you when they get their color hair. They'll tell you everything, right? They just played a new game. They got a new clothing line, whatever. They will literally open up the computer, and the first thing they do is they've got to tell everybody on their friend list what they just did. So the data research that we now have access to, what all these big social media giants have access to, is more about personal relationships. It's more about the relationship now. I think this was one of the biggest shifts that when I started talking to smart marketers around this, they said, you've got to start reaching people where they're at. And it's not an age gender anymore, right? Because age gender has nothing to do with the experience. So now you want to tap into the experiences people are having.
Yeah.
Right. So Avatar worked for a while, still does. Then it shifted into this world of, any thoughts around the Avatar?
Well, one thing that you said is that you have to reach people where they're at. And I think that when we first started with Truth Bomb, we were a little bit over people's heads. We were talking about things that people hadn't quite grasped yet. And so we kind of had to dial back and go, what is it that people actually are looking at when they're looking to build a business? And so and I feel like we do this constantly where we're asking that question, are we still on the same level as them? Is this what people actually are interested in? And so it's kind of brought up the question of, do females actually want to be millionaires? And so for for me, I don't know about you guys, but for me, I think the answer is yes, they just don't realize it because they've told themselves it's not okay to be a millionaire because there's something bad about it. That as a woman, I can't stand out on that kind of pedestal because it means that I will try to show up a man and that's not allowed or whatever. Whatever program is running in the back of their head that they don't even realize is happening. And so for me, I'm like, I still want to have that conversation because I think it's so important that women actually look at their businesses and go, holy shit, it's not about the money. It's about the amount of people. If I'm a millionaire in my business, how many people have I actually affected?
Yep.
How many people have I actually touched at the end of the day? And so I think that that's the piece that is really important to get females to understand. So yes, it is about talking about the millions because it's not the money, it's the effect that you're having on these people. Because I can't tell you how many business owners have told me, oh, I don't want to be a millionaire. And it's like, well, what in the hell did you go into business for? Like, what is the point? Like, do you want to make $10 an hour? Yeah, like what in the world? Just go for a regular job if you don't want to be a millionaire. Like, seriously, what in the world? Like, you have so much potential as an entrepreneur to connect with people and to grow society. I feel like entrepreneurs have probably one of the best platforms to form and create a whole new society. And as females, we need to step into that. And that means being okay with making a lot of money. Yeah. Because that means that's a representation of what you have created in this world. Yeah. That to me is the outpouring of this is the value that I've created in this world. This is how I've helped people. So it should show at the end of the day. It should show in some way, shape, or form. Because like I said, if you don't want to be a millionaire, it's okay. Like, you don't have to be a millionaire, but go get a job. That's okay too. Like, that's the thing. So,
well, my other question is then why the flock do people play the lottery?
Right.
Story. Hey, it's over $1 billion.
Why do you play why are you willing to go and drive out to go get this money as a lotto, right? And then there's hundreds of thousands, millions of people pour in. And they start playing lotto just hoping to win that $1 million.
Yeah.
Like, it boggles the minds. Like, you're not, like, what would it look like if you got an opportunity to create and build your business the way you wanted to, learning some new methods, learning how to put together that playbook, right, for your business so that you had to see and the route in which to take to get to that millions.
Yeah.
Right. And you can get the support and you can look at your value because that's one of the big things that we talk about inside of here is your finances. Yeah. Taking profit first. So many times as women, and I found myself doing the same thing, I will pay everybody else before I pay myself. Right? That profit first strategy that we teach is such a critical element of this.
Yeah.
Right? Because it is the money conversation. The other piece when we talk about what's into like this week's and what we're training around is that, when you talk about a following, I have pros and cons for following. I think, is there a legit following that you have, or is it a made up number of followers? Because for me, there is a difference. Like if you're just going for viewerships or vanity, then a following that like just goes in there and says, oh my gosh, you're beautiful. Or this, like, if it's like fake interaction, that's what I called it, like our vanity interaction.
Right.
That doesn't really move or shift the culture and society that we're in, then I'm not sure I am 100% behind the whole tracking your following kind of a thing. Right. On the flip side, I've seen women build incredible audiences. Mm-hmm. And those audiences do have a following, but what I'm typically seeing when I do my research is they're not a mega following. They're usually like in like the 100,000 range, maybe not just yet the million, because there is something authentic about building that following. You'll see this even with the guys. Like I'm going to pick on Tony Robbins real quick, right? No, I think this is a really good point of impact. Mm-hmm. We assume as entrepreneurs that everybody knows Tony Robbins.
Right.
But he builds an audience.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He's actually one of the few that build an audience. He serves them, he takes care of them, he nurtures them, he does everything. And his whole thing is about, he still collaborates. He still goes and works with other individuals and networks with other individuals and gets into their audience.
Right.
Because he knows the audience is more important than the following.
Right.
Right. The audience, the ones that are in, and if they can know, like, and trust you, right? This is where you are in their higher purpose, when they know that you have their higher purpose in mind. And when they know that you are there to trust, like you're there for their best interest, that audience, I think, is the better place to play.
Yeah.
And building an audience, like we talk about that inside of Unlocking My Millions. That's actually the conversation we're having this week, is what is and who is your audience and how are you serving them? And we had to get very specific in our questioning, because we didn't want you just to build a following, which what everyone thinks an audience is. We want you to dive in and really connect, because that's the one thing I hear women say all the time. I'm not feeling authentic. I don't feel like I have my authentic. I cannot tell you how many times I've heard, I just want to be more authentic.
Yeah, and I think so one of the social media platforms that we're on is Clapper, and what I love about Clapper is that we have made some very genuine connections with people, where we've had Zoom calls with people, we have done interviews with people, we've connected on a deeper level. That's what I appreciate about social media, is that you can literally reach into the internet and go, wow, you're a cool person, I'm a cool person, we should be friends. And a lot of times what I hear from women, and this actually goes back to like TikTok, when TikTok was a big thing, and it still is, but like, I don't know what's going to happen with TikTok at this point, but with TikTok, a lot of people said when they first started that they were doing kind of okay with it until they actually started networking with people on the platform. And then once they did that, their following just shot right up. And so that's one thing that I did when I first got onto TikTok, is I was like, who can I connect with? And I connected with some pretty big influencers in that space and could still reach out to them and be like, hey, how you doing, kind of thing, because I had created this synergy between myself and them. And so it's a beautiful thing when you can actually look at social media as a way to be social, to actually collaborate with people instead of just creating that following that doesn't necessarily mean anything at the end of the day. Now, it is cool to look at your following and go, holy shit, I created this many people that are now following and want to hear what I have to say. That's cool, okay? I'm going to pat you on the back and say, good job, you did a good job for that. But the question is, of that group of people, do you actually have people that you've connected with further? Do you have people that you have had conversations with more, that you could actually reach out to, maybe connect with them on a further level, whether you're doing virtual coffee on Zoom or you're getting together with them and getting coffee? Like, it's a totally different world when you look at social media. And this is how I like to use social media. I know, Katrina, you're always on my back. You need to go to events. You need to go to events, these networking events. And for me, what I love about social media is I can use it as a networking event. And I have met people, I have met some really awesome influencers and can actually, like I said, I could reach out to them today and be like, hey, would love to connect. How can we collaborate? This could be really fun. Yeah. And so for me, that's how I love using social media, is having that collaboration with other people in that form. So I know, like, at the end of the day, you can collaborate with people, whether it's in person, whether it's on social media, whether it's on the moon, I don't care. Like, having collaboration with people can happen anywhere. Just getting yourself out and having those conversations with people, that's what's important. Getting into Messenger, getting into Zoom rooms with these people and actually getting face to face with them and having conversations about what's going on in your business, how can I support you, how can I support you? And it changes the whole dynamic, because as female entrepreneurs, we want to know that we're not doing this by ourselves. Right. We want to know that you're having similar issues that I am, and what did you do to fix it so that I can hopefully get through it as well? What are some things that you did? That's how we collaborate. We like to talk about these things. Men, not so much, but females, we like to have that conversation where it's like, well, how'd you make this better? How'd you make that better? Because we want to ultimately kind of look at what are you doing and how can I help myself do the same thing at the end of the day.
Yeah. Well, and the collaboration is so key. Anything to add from your point of view?
The collaboration knows. I was actually thinking of something way back when we were talking about the audience and about the avatar, and something was like about how we're connecting. I mean, this goes with collaboration. It was like everything you're doing, but paying attention to the vocabulary you use, because we caught ourselves doing this earlier on. I was like, we knew like where we wanted to take Truth Bomb, and we were actually talking that language when our audience and our avatar is actually the
Not
person who is a couple steps behind. And it's like, and I think it's so easy. I've seen this in multiple aspects of my life, where it's like in the homes, when you're like surrounded by the same type of people, like when you're in the homeschool world, and you're surrounded by all homeschoolers, you have a certain vocabulary you use about certain things. And other people who don't homeschool, they're like, they have no idea what you're talking about. They have no idea. And it's like, and it's the same thing when you're building a business and you have this vision of where you want to be in 5 to 10 years, and you actually start talking that language. You start using that vocabulary that's associated with where you're going, instead of who you're serving now. And it's like, I just think that's something to be, when you're looking to connect with your audience, that's something to be very conscious of. The words and the vocabulary you use, because they make a huge impact.
They do. And that was one thing that we looked at early on, and we were like, wait a minute, this is missing the mark. People don't understand what we're trying to say here. They don't understand that we're trying to help them get to a place where they can have more fun and play in their business. And we're not using the right words that are actually connecting with them in that way. So I mean, that's just part of the process of kind of like playing with your brand also, and going, okay, this didn't really land. This isn't really working. Is this something that we should continue down this path because we want to help people to understand it? Like with the whole female millionaire thing, like for me, I want women to be like, God damn it, I want to be a female millionaire. Like that's what I want for women, because they can look at it from the perspective of helping more people. Like that's so friggin' beautiful to me. So for me, it's like, I do want to keep going down that road. But when we first started Truth Bomb, we were talking about this whole masculine and feminine energy. And a lot of female entrepreneurs are like, well, I have feminine parts. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, and it was like totally missing the mark, because we were actually talking about the energetics of masculine and feminine energy, where a lot of entrepreneurial training is focused on the to-do list, let me analyze the data, what's the next action I have to take if I've analyzed the data. That's all masculine, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But we wanted to get people more in a creative state, which that feminine energy is more of a creative state. And so that's what we wanted people to get to, but they were kind of like, well, I don't understand. Like, I got lady parts, so I've got feminine energy. I don't get it. So, but it's like changing the words that we said to kind of land more with people, where it's like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. And so like I said, that's part of building out a brand, where you've got to test stuff. You got to go, okay, what's working about this? What's not working? And how can we make it better?
Well, that's one of the reasons why, we went into coloring as part of our branding training, right? Like tonight we get to color. And there's so much. She's got a big old smile. You guys can't see this, but she's like,
Well, the beautiful thing about that training that we're doing, and it really is all about branding, we're talking about what are the colors that you're drawn to, and then let's talk about what those colors mean. And then also we have very specific pictures that I chose on purpose, because I know that they're going to help kind of get your brain in a more creative state. They're very symmetrical. Your brain likes symmetry. It automatically, like when you're looking at something or listening to something or experiencing something that's symmetrical, your brain kind of is like, that feels good. Like it's kind of like we're petting your brain, and it's going, I like that, because it puts it in a more coherent thought pattern. And so for me, that was really important when looking at what are the things that we're actually coloring to. When they're symmetrical, we actually chose three different mandalas that, and you can look up what a mandala is if you don't know what it is, but it's basically this symmetrical pattern that you can color in. And it's been proven scientifically that when you color in symmetrical things like that, your brain just is happy. And so not only are we looking at this symmetrical thing, but we're also being really mindful about the colors that we're picking up. What colors are we coloring in with? What are we drawn to? Because at the end of the day, that's what creates the creativity behind what's going in your brand.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes you be like, wait a minute, does this need to go in my brand? Is this the color that I need to actually use? Because this is actually going to help me further whatever it is that I want to share with people.
Yeah. And I think that's the difference with what we're sharing, is that so many times people are told to pick certain brand colors because they represent certain things.
Yeah.
But I think for us as women, what we're drawn to and what we can get behind will be more purposeful and more passionate around.
Yeah.
And I think that's where we have to make sure we keep resetting ourselves into, is that purpose and passion for this and doing what feels right for us.
Yeah.
Right.
And at the end of the day too, like, notice what's going on around you, like when it comes to colors also, because your brain will pick up certain colors that it likes. And so notice those things. And then also, if there are people would come up to me all the time when I had purple hair, and they would be like, purple looks so good on you. And whenever I think of you, I think of the color purple. And that was like, oh, purple needs to go in my brand. Like, it was like, oh, it's really not in my brand right now, but I probably should kind of add it in there. Because my branding, when I first started my video marketing unicorn, it was like this green teal color, and it was beautiful. And then as it kind of like morphed into what it ended up being, I was like, I need to add purple into this because people think purple when they think of Karen. So it's like, okay, like, what's going on around you? What are people saying to you about colors? What are you noticing about colors? These are the things that are like literally the universe is telling you, hey, this is what you need to do. Just pay attention. So,
yeah.
I mean, there's a lot that can happen if we are just mindful of our surroundings. We're mindful of what people are telling us. We're mindful of just what's going on. Like, we think that we're stuck, and I'm putting air quotes up for people that can't see me. We think that we're stuck in life, but it's literally like the universe is literally saying, no, this is the direction you need to go. I can't tell you how many times I've hit my head against the wall and been like, no, but I want to do this. And it's like, yeah, but this is the direction that you really want to go in.
That listening piece.
Just listen.
Yeah. And that's the beautiful thing around what we're creating here. We're going to wrap up this episode of Did She Really Say That? Because I have a feeling we said some really great things. You're like, did she really say that? Because we said a lot of things around your brand, a lot of things around the audience type that you're building. And we know that the journey for women and female entrepreneurs has to shift and change from the information that we're getting out there, because women create. It's what we do. And no two women create exactly the same.
Right.
But having a guide in that playbook allow for your creativity to come through. Because I promise you, your genius and your genie is inside of you, just waiting to come out. And when we say we unlock millions of dreams, possibilities, opportunities for you, connections that are going to get made here. So this is where we invite you in to come and look at truthbombmarketing.com, come into this academy, and really look at what would it look like for your life. And I leave you with this. What would your life look like if you could truly unlock your full potential as a woman? That you could have everything you wish, whether it's the dreams that you carry, the money that you have, the confidence you want to create in the world. What would it look like if you were completely unlocked? Enjoy your day.